All right, what's up, everybody? I'm on episode 4 of Best in the Northwest. I got Anthony DeHererra and Daniel Houghes on board today. What's up, guys? How's it going?
How's it going, man?
It's going well,
Good.
Rob.
So, Dan, you're in Montana, right?
I'm in Montana. Yes, sir.
Nice. And you're rocking that Idaho Cup shirt. That was a fun show, man.
Yeah, you know this shirt. I've seen you wear it a few times.
Yeah, dude. It's one of my favorite shirts.
Yeah. That was a good
One
show.
second, my fucking headphones. Oh well. Yeah, I wear that shirt everywhere. It's badass.
Yeah.
That show was
was
crazy too, because it was during COVID and everyone like the super heavy class was like nuts. Remember that?
I remember that Ivan was like astounded. He's like, we haven't seen a super heavy class like this in a long time or something like that.
Yeah.
Because there was like 11 guys, and it was you, me, John Ott, James Ferguson were the top 4.
Yeah.
And pretty good call out there.
Yeah, that was nuts, man.
That was fun.
Yeah, so you just got your pro card this year, right?
I did, yeah, back in July, Masters Nationals. Yep. Down in Pittsburgh.
Can you guys hear me clearly?
Yeah.
I can hear you good. Yeah.
Okay, good. I was using my headphones, then I accidentally pressed them and they turned off, so I'm just gonna ride without them. But yeah, man. So I got a bunch of questions that I gathered from people and myself. We'll just reel them off. But first off, Dan, are you rolling into your off season now? Just trying to put on some size?
Yeah, so I never had a coach up until this point, except for kind of the stuff that we talked about back and forth a little bit for Emerald Cup. But
Yeah.
I thought, man, I'm a pro now. I better actually hire a coach. So I hired Justin Harris, and I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he's kind of known for putting weight on guys because that's what I need to do. And it's a challenge because I'll be 43 this year, so I've been training a long time. I've been using gear a long time, so you know how much more can I do? What's left in the tank, so to speak, as far as what I can do to put more muscle on. So I hired him, and so far it's been going pretty good. I'm pretty heavy body weight. I'm about 275 when I go to bed, a little under 270 weight when I wake up. So this is about the second heaviest I've ever been. And
Nice.
yeah, trying to put some weight on so that'll be a little more competitive next time I compete in the pro stage, which I've got a couple of shows lined up. Thinking of doing the San Antonio Pro and then the Legion Sports Fest. Both are in September, and Legions is in Reno.
Nice. There
Yeah.
you go. That's cool. How'd you do at
Yeah.
that pro show you did this year, or was that just your qualifier?
Yeah, no, that was this year. So I got my pro card, and I didn't expect to. But I ended up winning the over 40 classic, not just my class, but the overall. And then I won the over 40 bodybuilding, not just my class, but the overall. So I was like, well, okay. Honestly, I think it was maybe a little bit of a weak lineup, but whatever. I was the one there and I won my pro card. So my wife's like, she's like, you've got this card. What are you going to do with it? You better go compete. So I was like, shoot, yeah, you're right. So in October, I competed in the Hurricane Pro down in Tampa. Well, across the bay, actually, St. Petersburg, Tim Gardner production, and entered the Masters class. I got second by 1 point, and then I think there was 11 guys. And then in the Open class, there was 28 guys, and I ended up at 13th place. So it was okay. I was shooting for top 10, but didn't quite get there.
You were pretty peeled. Was that your best conditioning you've ever gotten?
That's the best condition I've ever been. Yeah, and it was kind of weird. I could not for the life of me get filled out. I was flat as could be, and no matter what I did, I just actually week prior to the show, I started adding a bunch of carbs back in, mainly in the form of rice. And the only thing that happened is I actually went down in weight. I hit a new low the week before the show, so that was a little frustrating. But yeah, it's all right. I was peeled, and interestingly enough, I weighed in at that show the exact same weight that I weighed in at Masters Nationals, which was the exact same weight that I weighed in at Emerald Cup. So I sort of made, even though I weighed in the same amount, I made progressions in conditioning from the Emerald Cup to the Masters Nationals to that Hurricane Pro. So
Nice.
that was good.
What'd you weigh?
Yeah.
What'd you weigh?
237.
Nice.
So
that's like exactly what I weighed this year at North Americans and in nationals.
Was it? Yeah.
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 You know, I thought Emerald Cup was weird, man. I thought that you got some kind of a raw end on judging there, but you know, shit happens. But
yeah,
I thought that you could have won the supers against the guy that won the overall, just because your structure was so much better, your quads were so much better. Like, yeah, you had like that gnarly muscle and a good back, but just not very pretty, you know.
Yeah.
But maybe it's just because I tend to go for more of the aesthetic guys myself. But
yeah.
Then the real shocker, where like the crowd kind of gasped, was like the classic, because you got what, second in your class, right? In classic.
I did, yeah.
When you know you have a great classic look. When you came out, like the two rows I was sitting with were all like, oh shit, like there's the overall winner right there. He looks like a older Bumstead or something, you know, rocking a mustache and everything.
I had the mustache going, yeah.
Yeah. Similar look though. Definitely similar look. And then they gave it to somebody else that was pretty soft and not, I don't know. But yeah, it shit happens. But then you made up for it later in the year, you know?
Yeah, yeah. No, it's all good. I've been on enough judging panels to know that things just kind of sometimes they just don't go the way they should, and there's no rhyme or reason why it happens. It just does.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, a perfect example of that is at the Hurricane Pro. I did the Masters class, so the 40 and over, I got second by one point. I think I mentioned that.
Yeah.
And then in the Open, the guy that beat me in the Masters also entered the Open.
Right.
Guess what happened? I beat him by I spanked his butt all over the stage, like he wasn't even the same call out as me.
Yeah.
10 minutes later.
You know what's funny about that? I gotta mention something. I remember when the last time I did E-Cup in 2022, and Ivan was doing our little athlete meeting, and he was like talking about, talking about judging, and he's like, sometimes you're gonna win in one class and then you're gonna lose in another class for the same person just because, maybe water or slow manipulations that happen. But then the funny part, we were like, okay, whatever. And then the funny part was during the show, Kim was on the mic, and he started talking about how the judging has gotten so much better at E-Cup. He was like praising the judges. And then he's like, so, this ridiculous stuff used to happen. Like one guy would beat a guy in one class and then he would lose in another. That's the exact opposite thing that Ivan said.
Yeah.
I remember it was backstage and I just started laughing like, oh shit, that's hilarious.
Yeah. Ivan's just saying that to try and save face and cover himself a little bit. Because
I mean, I guess if there was a good amount of time, hours in between, you could make that call, but I don't know, minutes.
Yeah.
30 minutes. I don't know. You could, whatever. But Anthony, are you in your off season right now? You're getting ready to do
Yeah, getting ready to start prep here in February. So pretty much now, probably just waiting for the hammer to drop with the coach.
Yeah. What show are you doing?
It's a new show. It's the South Florida Pro.
Nice.
It's kind of a strange show, man. It's literally just 212 and an amateur. It's like a pro-am, but it just has 212.
Nice. Those programs are growing a lot.
Yeah. They seem to get a lot of traction with people and just more attendance and I'm looking forward to it.
And then where'd you get your pro card at?
North Americans. I took the overall in Masters over 35, the light, and I was in the light heavyweight class, and then I got third in Open
Nice. What year?
Yeah. It was 2021.
Nice.
It was
Okay.
the long year, man. Prepping from February all the way to almost November.
Mm-hmm. And then you did like what, Idaho Cup to qualify, and then went to North Americans, or?
I did Cascadian actually.
Oh, Cascadian. That's right.
Yep. Did Cascadian, and we took the overall there, and then took a little time off. Did North Americans, and then I actually did the Legion as my first pro show.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't like ready for it. I was just already in shape and just like, I'm gonna just give it a shot. They actually had a Masters 212 class. So,
really?
oddly enough, man, I've never seen one of those. So
That's fun.
yeah, I entered that and took second.
How old are you?
39.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dude, next year you can do the E Cup because they got 40 and over now.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, they have bodybuilding for the last 2 years, I think, had this Masters 40 and over pro. Because it's pro-am now. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I'll definitely, I eventually turn pro and I'm in my 40s, I'll definitely do it.
Why not?
Yeah, why not? It's fucking
it's a good show, man. I've never done it, but I've heard good things about the E Cup.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I'm actually planning on doing E Cup in 25.
Nice.
Masters Pro. Yeah.
Are you just going to do open bodybuilding?
Probably classic. The classic cutoff in the pro is 249. So it's, once you jump to the pro level, the classic guys get pretty jacked. So
yeah. Are you 6'2"?
Yeah, I height in at 6'2" and a quarter. So yeah, my pro cutoff is 249. Pretty heavy.
Mm-hmm. Man. So you got a good amount of like size you can put on.
Yeah, that's the reason
awesome.
I hired Justin Shier to see what I could do.
And how old are you, Dan?
I'll be 43 this year.
Man, that's a killer physique for that age, man. That's awesome. I like Justin Harris. I listened to a lot of his podcasts and whatnot. I seen him backstage at North Americans working with his guys, and he seems like and nationals. I seen him both times, and I followed him forever, man. I remember him working out with Steve Kuklo back in the day. Some videos. Back when he was super jacked, and that's when I heard you were working with him, I was like, that's a great choice, definitely.
Yeah, it's gone well so far.
Yeah, he's very educated too. Like he's got a background, education, and everything.
Yeah, I listened to a bunch of podcasts, bunch of YouTube this year, while I'm prepping, and every time he got on, I like what he had to say. I like kind of the way he delivered, and so that kind of made the choice for me.
Yeah,
just seemed like a good guy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm gonna run through some of these questions here.
Yeah.
So I'll just to give you guys an update, I am just finishing up a cruise TRT phase, 10 weeks, and gonna start back on this next week. And gonna probably take the whole year off. This year was a long year of dieting. I was getting ready for the USAs. Then I put that off because I didn't think I was ready. And then I did, North Americans and did decent, got 8th. And then I should have shut it down there. My body was like just kind of done. But I pushed it to nationals and just was a little bit flatter and just body was just done. Shouldn't have pushed it that long. But so I'm going to take the whole year off and probably shoot for like maybe USAs in 2025 and then just do a show qualifier leading up to that. Because like I was about the same size, 237 for North Americans. I think I was 239 for nationals. I'm 6'1", so slightly shorter. But at this fucking goddamn super heavies, man, like at 6'1", you got to be at least minimum 250 to like really, really be competitive,
Yeah.
Oh, that's the goal, just push the food and get huge,
This is one of the first times that you've actually taken will it be like where you've taken like a year off to really focus on?
Yeah, first time in a while for sure. Yeah, definitely. At least because I've competed every year for a while. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'll be nice, definitely.
Absolutely.
Rob, your physique looks pretty darn good for a 10 weeks cruise.
Yeah, man, I was pretty happy about it because getting up in age, I'm 37 now, and it's kind of nice to know that you can maintain a pretty solid physique on 200 milligrams of test, which is nice to know, like when I retire from the sport and shit. But thanks, man. Yeah, hopefully my receptacles will be nice and fresh now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
dude.
but I'm gonna actually, I just need to donate blood this week and then do my blood work and get it rolling. I always try to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Donate twice a year and then blood work after every cycle. How do you guys do the same thing?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I gotta be told to. I don't really really just go do it. You know what I mean? Like the coach tells me to do it, I'll typically go do it. Yeah.
I just had blood work this week and just got the result this morning and sent it off to Justin. So whatever he tells me to do is what I'll do. But yeah, my hematocrit red blood cell wasn't too high, just a little bit out of range, but yeah, it was out of range. So we'll see what he tells me.
Okay. Yeah. And he's super fucking expert at that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna run through some of these questions here. It's funny, I wanted to bring up that it happens every once in a while, but I used to do security at this Best Buy, and there was a bunch of young kids that worked there. So it was kind of cool getting to know some of the kids that are 18 to 21, and some of them would ask me for advice and shit. But anyways, there was this kind of shorter Mexican kid, and he just had really good genetics, but he just always is asking about gear and SARMs and all this shit, and he doesn't like count his macros or eat 4 to 6 times a day. So anyways, he messaged me with like one of those dropplers, and it was like IGF, that fake fucking IGF shit. It's like deer antler velvet or some shit. He's like, hey, is this real? Should I get this? I'm just like, dude, no, it's fake. Don't waste your money. And he's like, well, what should I get? And I'm just like, you need to fucking count your macros and develop a foundation before you think about any of this shit. So I just wanted to bring up that topic. And, one of the things I think it leads to is like, I know, like, I listen to a lot of podcasts, and like, I know Fuad, he said he started gear like right when he started bodybuilding, and he's an incredible bodybuilder, way better than any of us, but he ended up tearing like every muscle. And I think it's because he started gear like when he started bodybuilding. He didn't have like a foundation of tendon strength or strength that going into that, and you just grow so fast. And so I'm trying to pass on that message to some of these young kids. But I was 24 when I first started, and I just think it's what do you guys think as far as like, do you agree you should have a foundation and not just jump into gear? Go ahead, Dan. You go first.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I started in the gym in college, so I was, I guess, about 19, and I didn't start until I think I was about 28. So I trained a long time. I could bench 315, and I could curl 80-pound dumbbells, and I'd never taken anything at all.
Yeah.
And when people ask me that question, I tell them those stats, and then I say, when you can do that, then you can start.
Yeah.
It's funny because I don't hardly even bench 315 anymore, and I do not curl 80-pound dumbbells anymore. But
right,
in your 20s.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think you should wait till 25. Honestly, I mean that's what I would tell people. Because I totally agree with you. I think that when you max out your natural potential before you add in exogenous hormones, that your potential for total growth is greater than if you add in the hormones right away.
Mm-hmm. What's your opinion, Anthony?
Yeah, I'd definitely have to agree with what he just said, because I mean, I started when I was 18, and that was like one of the big regrets that I probably have. Like, if I could go back, I probably would have given myself a little bit more time to see what I could accomplish naturally. And I couldn't really like put a specific age on it necessarily, but I guess I'd have to figure out like what's my why behind it. Like, am I just like shooting up some gear just to look good for chicks and blast a 400-pound bench in the gym, or am I trying to take this to the professional level and become an influencer and be a face of the sport? And it's just like what's like why are you doing this? Because everything has consequences. Especially with the gear, man. Like, shit. I mean, I kind of, one of the things, like my hair loss, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like if I hadn't started gear so young, I probably wouldn't have as thin hair. It's all debatable, whether gear really causes that or not, but I certainly think that it does. Yeah, man, I definitely probably give it some more time to see what you can accomplish naturally, dude, for sure.
Yeah, that being said, I don't think it's starting early is the worst thing ever. Like, there's tons of dudes that started early and had a shit ton of success, like Jay Cutler, and a lot of these pros started when they were like 18, 19, taking gear, branch worn and stuff. So I mean, it's like, there's worse shit. There's worse shit out there,
Yeah.
One of the things that I thought was interesting was I've heard of some of these younger kids starting gear, and I'll praise them because they're using a low dose, but I don't necessarily agree with it. Like, one of the things I see some of them doing is they're just running like a TRT dose, like an 18 or 19-year-old is running like 200 or 250 mgs. It's like, to me, it's like you already have a high amount of test. And you're just taking a TRT dose that's probably going to increase your test a little bit, but not like a great amount. So like, why not just ride out your own test? I don't know. What do you guys think about that? It's a common new thing I've seen.
Yeah. I'll tell you, when my first cycle was 500 milligrams a week. So 26 years old. I don't remember exactly. I think I was 26. But I'll tell you what, 8 weeks, 2 weeks in, I thought, holy crap, what have I been missing this whole time?
Yeah. The holy grail.
Yeah, but it was 500 milligrams a week, so it shot my test levels up, obviously a lot higher than they were naturally. But yeah, I agree. TRT, the R is for replacement. So why would you replace, especially if you're a young kid, why would you replace your natural levels with synthetic and probably not have any greater result?
Yeah, it just doesn't seem to make sense, huh? Yeah,
it doesn't. Yeah,
it's a new. Like I said, I praise them for, hey, like taking a low dose and starting low. That's great. That's a great idea to have, but not if it's not gonna do much and you're just losing your test for nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Are they just like,
speaking of hair loss,
are they just taking just testosterone? Like, are they stacking with anything, or?
Yeah, no, just I've heard at least like 10 kids in the last like 6 months talk about taking TRT, like just 250, 200 mgs a test. And the couple kids I talked to, I told them, like, dude, you're just replacing like a test that you already have. Like, if you're going to do it, like Daniel said, like 400 to 500 mgs, 350, I don't know, something a little bit above that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not saying fucking take more gear, but like in that instance, it does make more sense. Yeah.
Right. How old are they? Like, these are like the teenagers, or like early 20s, or?
Yeah, like 17 to 20 years old. Those.
Shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Young, dude. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of those kids that come into O'Malley's, and they're like, they see all of us, and they're like, you want to get on stuff, and it's like, it doesn't always work like that. Get that foundation. But anyways, speaking of hair loss, I've been taking finasteride, and minoxidil or whatever, the Rogaine, for a couple of years now, and it felt like it kind of stopped my hair loss and kind of kept it where it was, which is nice. But recently I just saw fucking your coach talking about it, Justin, and he was saying like why take finasteride if you're a bodybuilder? It like blocks your what do you call it, DHT, and
Yeah.
you need that. You're literally blocking a steroid hormone. And I was like, damn, I've been taking that shit for like 5 years. I'm like, did I just drop it and maybe just use the Rogaine and then not the finasteride? What do you guys think about that?
Hair loss has never really been much of a problem for me. I mean, my hair's on the thin side, but it's kind of always been that way. So I've never worried about it really or taken anything for it. But for me, I would never take that stuff because they're anti-androgens. So look at the top bodybuilders, man. They're all bald.
We made it
for a reason.
What up, Dustin?
Hey, what's up, man?
I'm so glad you made it, dude. Hell yeah.
So I've actually been losing hair before I was ever on anything anyways. So, I mean, I don't really have a say in it. It's not like I ever really had hair anyways, so.
Dude, thanks for coming on, man. I'm glad you could make it, bro.
Oh yeah, man.
So yeah, this is Dustin Bias. He's my other guest here. IFBB Pro. Fucking great coach. He coached me before. How's it going, man? So are we letting you already actually did. You did on your IG. We're letting the cat out of the bag. He's making a return, man. And I'm super excited about it, man. How's it going so far?
It's good. I actually so since I retired back in 2020, I came off everything and I didn't really touch any actual weight or like anything like that. And then about 2 months ago, I was like, you know what? I think I want to try powerlifting. Just to see, right? So I started running about, I think it was about 350 a month, or not 350 every single week. And so thighs started to come back pretty fast doing their actual style, I guess.
Yeah.
And a lot of people started asking if I was going to come back, and I was like, no, I'm good. And I don't know what happened, but something in my head just snapped. I'm like, you know what? Fine, I'll come back one. So Jerry is actually trying to get me to do the Dallas this year, but I don't know if I'm gonna be up in time. So
nice. Is Jerry doing that show?
yeah.
There we go.
So we'll
nice.
see. I don't know if I'll be able to put on enough size to be 212, and I don't want to jump into classic again. So
yeah, dude. Yeah, 212 is definitely where you belong, man. I think, I think, man, your muscle bellies are so clean and round. Like, I think you could do well, man. I'm so happy that you're coming back. We did that podcast the other week, and me and Abdul were talking about you, and then we were messaging back and forth, and you're like, dude, by the way, I'm coming back. I was like, fuck yeah.
Yeah,
great, man. I need to make it up there.
Like pushed it over, so.
Oh yeah, I need to make it up there and do some training with you, man. Like, just for old time's sake. Where are you training at?
Oh yeah, man. I'm training.
Where are you training at?
Temple. It's.
Oh, nice.
So
is that John's gym?
No. He actually goes here.
Oh, okay. That's where he's. Okay, yeah.
I think he's making a gym similar to it in Buckley or something like that.
Okay.
But no, it's not his.
That makes sense. Yeah, we were talking about coaches and stuff. Because do you know Daniel Houghes and Anthony DeHererra?
I know Dan because before I did the 2013 Empire Classic, I looked at the past years and he won the 2012 overall. And so I've been following him ever since.
Nice, nice.
Anthony,
Yeah,
I actually just heard about a couple weeks ago, and I've been actually looking at his stuff too. So he looks huge as shit.
yeah. You guys are both 212. Maybe you'll end up competing against each other.
I still have a lot of room to
Oh,
grow,
yeah.
so we'll see.
Yeah. So I'm gonna roll through these questions. Some of them people gave me, and some of them I thought of. Oh yeah, really quick. You used to work with Andrew Vu, right? That was your last coach?
Yeah. Second to last coach. Yes.
Yeah. Do you plan on working with somebody, or are you gonna self-coach or this run?
At this point, I'm just gonna see where it goes for the size wise, because I'm not doing a lot, at the moment.
Right.
But as far as once it starts to not progress, then I'm probably gonna hire someone. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, you're just working on getting the tissue back, right? And filling back
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did you like working with Andrew? Because he's like, I've heard he's just like he's an aceto like kind of like an aceto student, right?
Right. So he's probably one of my favorite ones. He was great. I prematurely left him after the show because of the immature things, and I actually wish I didn't, but he was one of my favorite coaches, and he brought me in probably the best that I ever looked in 2017 for
Yeah.
for Vegas.
Nice.
So
Yeah. Hell yeah, man. So let's see. My first question is if you guys had to choose, which one do you like better, Nandralone or EQ? Let's have Dan, you go first.
That's actually a funny question. So I've been doing 400 a week of Nandralone, Deca, and 400 a week of EQ, and I just dropped the Deca because I've been having some digestive problems, and I think it's attributed to the Deca. So I dropped it. So for me, and I know EQ is getting a bad rap lately a little bit, and I'm not sure why I like it. I mean, it's a test derivative, and even though it is known to raise red blood cells, more so than other compounds, it doesn't amortize the same way testosterone does. So I think it's a good adjunct to testosterone. And so for me, choice is EQ. Plus, Deca being in a 19 NOR, it shuts you down super hard. So if you have any future plans for trying to have kids or anything like that, may not be the best choice. But
okay, and Dan, you have like what, 2 kids, 3 kids?
Yeah, we've got an adopted daughter, and then we've got twins that are a year and a half.
Nice. Did you, if you mind talking about it, were you like on cycle or off cycle when you got her pregnant? Did you do like a protocol to get her pregnant?
Good question.
Yeah.
We all want to know, man. I want to have kids eventually.
Yeah. We did IVF actually.
Okay.
And yeah, we went to Mexico for it because it's much cheaper and they have great success rates. So we went to Puerto Vallarta. Why? I don't know why. I think that because they know what they're doing. I don't know.
Yeah.
But so I didn't go off anything. All I did was add HCG and HMG, and that's all I needed to do. Boom.
Good to know, man.
I got a question for him real quick, you don't mind.
Yeah.
It's a good topic. So did you get your sperm count tested like when you were on gear? Like what made you do that to begin with? Like, were you having issues or was she?
Oh, so yeah. So I went totally off for 3 years in my mid-30s because we were trying to have kids.
Yeah.
Off everything. And my test levels only came back to 400. and they kind of sucked, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
So then I gave up on that for a minute because it was just kind of causing some stress and whatnot. And so then pretty quick after that, a situation arose where a girl needed to be adopted like super quick, just local to where we live. And so we stepped in and did that. And so that was kind of like the kid for a while. But then after a couple of years, we were thinking, well, let's try for some more. And we just off the bat didn't want to try and go through everything that we'd gone through before. And I didn't want to go through that for myself. And she was like, let's just do the easy, quick thing. So let's do IVF. So that's what we did. And I think it was like, I want to say 6 months I was on HCG and HMG protocol. And I had 70 million on a sample for sperm. So the clinic was like, shoot, yeah, this is perfect. It's more than what we need. So yeah, it worked out good. Yeah, cool. So yeah, if you're thinking about it, I'll just drop the name. It's LIV Fertility Clinic. They're awesome. Yeah, actually, since we went down there, 2 different couples that we know personally, friends of ours who have had all kinds of trouble, have even done IVF in the States, unsuccessfully went down there and conceived. And their total package is 10 grand. So it's like a quarter what you pay up here in the States.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Good info, man.
Yeah. So I got 2 little girls. They're pretty fun.
Cool, man. Congrats, man. It's cool.
Thanks. Yeah.
Where'd the host go?
I don't know. Any other questions for me on that topic?
Actually, yeah, I actually muted myself for a second.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we'll have to talk. I'll have to talk to you another time too, because I've always wanted to adopt as well. That's something I've always, planned on doing. But anyways, yeah, Anthony, Nandralone or EQ, which one do you like? If you had to choose one or the other.
I haven't done Nandralone for a long time, honestly.
Yeah.
Last couple of coaches that I've had haven't recommended it, and everything's just been EQ. So I mean, I haven't done Nandralone for a while. Like I couldn't even really tell you, if it's even preferable to me, just because I've always done EQ and I've always had good success with it. But honestly, man, I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm always like stacking all kinds of shit. So, I'm like, I couldn't really tell you like how like one really works better than the other. You know what I mean? Because I'm always like taking like 2 or 3 other compounds. So I'm like, man, is it the test? Is it the, is it the anadrol? Is it the MPP? You know what I mean? But I do like EQ though. I've had success. It's always been a part of my protocol.
Yeah. What about you, Dustin?
I never felt positive when I was on that stuff. So I always ran EQ. It was test and EQ on my off seasons, and it worked great. That was always what I used. So I just kind of stuck with that since it worked.
Yeah, it seems like EQ is a little bit more popular. For me, I like both. I feel more joint comfort from the Nandralone than the EQ. But I do like the EQ because for off season it increases my appetite like crazy. Which is great because we're all struggling to stuff food in the off season. So yeah, I mean, if I had to choose, I'd probably go with Nandralone just because my shoulders just feel great when I'm on it. But I do like them both, man. I think they both have their place. That brings up another thing I was thinking about too. Another thing that's really popular nowadays is the Prima Ball, and I know Justin Harris, Dan's coach. He's just putting out videos recently, and he was saying that the best cycle to run in the off season is high test and high Prima Ball, and basically because it's the least amount of side effects, and you can run the dosage up highest to the highest amount without sides. And what do you guys think about that, Dustin? Have you experienced that at all? Go ahead. Dustin, go
I
ahead.
haven't had a chance to really mess with Primo, so I can't really speak
Yeah.
too much on it. I know it's worked well with some of my clients, but as far as me personally, I've never had that chance to use it yet. No.
Mhm. What about you, Anthony?
Yeah, Primo's kind of, it's, honestly, it was something I could never really get in the past. And it just seems like it's just kind of came onto the scene the last couple of years recently. And so it's something that I've added in. And yeah, it does seem to have pretty good effects from it, at least I think anyway, just with limited side effects. And it's always it's another like EQ, it's something that's generally a part of my protocol too. Like right now, it's I'm taking.
Have you ever ran tests in Primo like alone?
No,
Yeah. Me neither. And I was thinking about trying it. Dan, what about you?
Yeah, so Justin actually, he wanted me on test and Primo. Primo was his preference, but I can't take it. I've tried on multiple occasions, but it gives me, I inject that stuff. I must be allergic or something because it gives me the nastiest knot and I get like physically ill from it. And
Really?
yeah, I've tried it multiple times and every time same thing. I've tried from different manufacturers, everything. And so finally I just decided I can't do it. So I'm on test and EQ as I mentioned, but yeah, 1,200 milligrams a week test and 800 milligrams a week EQ. That's Justin's off season for me for my weight.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah,
I love it.
yeah. I actually feel really freaking good on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate to admit it, but I've been one of those stupid guys who's used a lot of Tren like year round, and
Really, yeah.
so I finally dropped the Tren, and
Yeah.
I have to tell you, man, I feel really good without it.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah. I've ran Tren for a few weeks in the off season before, but I don't do it anymore because I just don't feel the need for it. And I like to keep my receptors fresh for pre-contest. And man, I get the worst Tren sleep. Like a couple weeks into Tren, about 15 to 20 days in, my sleep gets fucking bad. So I try to limit it as much as possible nowadays. When I was younger, of course, I was like, fucking let's start it at 10 weeks out. And, you're just gun ho. But now, yeah, it's 4 to 6 weeks out. We'll throw it in. But
yeah, I spent most of 2023 on Tren.
That's great.
Well, I prepped for the E Cup. 3 months later was Nationals. 3 months later was the Pro Show. So there's 9 months straight of Tren right there.
Yeah, that's dude, you're doing pretty good for your age, man. You got a full head of hair, dude. Fucking doing great.
Jealous. Way jealous.
Right? mine's there, but it's going back a little bit.
It's holding off your life, man.
Should if you have hair.
Yeah. Hey, Dustin, you know what? God had to do. He blessed you with those muscle bellies. He had to, give you something against you. Okay, so next question is, what muscle or muscles do you need to bring up, in your opinion, on your own physique? You can go ahead and start, Dustin.
I know that from the year that I trained with Drew after I turned pro for the Pro Show, I know that we got after chest 3 times a week, and chest is probably one of the hardest parts for me to grow. It seems to grow fairly well, but chest was the one that we really had to isolate and get set. So,
yep, chest. What about you, Dan?
It's my back, my arms perpetually. There's nothing I can do about it though. I got terrible genes for arms, but my back, I get lean on the front really quick, and then it takes me a long time to get lean on my back. And I think what happens is I I started to lose muscle in my back. So I got to bring up my back. That's
Yeah,
the
I
main
think
for me.
honestly,
Thickness.
yeah, I think Dan, me and you have kind of have similar physiques. You know, there's little differences obviously in the arms and shit, but like just the overall structure. So I'm similar. I'm similar in the fact that yeah, I can get, like, Dustin knows, like, he worked with me. I can be like really good from the front and like soggy as shit from the back. So it's like a balance of pushing the conditioning but not getting too flat, because I'm naturally taller, skinnier guy like you are, you know.
Yeah.
That was one of the hardest parts for you is trying to lose fat, but not actually losing your back as well. So
Exactly.
That's why we were always giving you those extra carbs, is because you were like, everything was great and then your back was just gone. I was like, damn it.
Yeah, I know. It's always been my issue. That's my number one thing I'm trying to bring up now that we're on the subject. Mainly just back and a little bit of biceps. But yeah, mainly back. Definitely. What about you, Anthony?
Man, I was just thinking if I could give up some of my arms for like a bigger chest or like some hamstrings, I'd be happy with that. Like if I could have something I need to work on, I'd be happy with just having my arms. But I tore my pec tendon in 2018, just ripped from the bone, and that just, it's, you know, I'm just a little gun shy doing chest still, so my chest really hasn't developed like it should, like the rest of my body.
That's a good point. How did you tear it?
How did I take care of it?
How did you tear it?
Just doing bench press. Like, I mean, speaking of, I don't know. I think everything just hit me at once, just like stress, and I was running a bunch of train at the time.
Sure.
My strength was just blasting through the roof and quick, and I was just doing reps, man. I had like you know, shorter arms. I'm a little stronger when it comes to chest movements. I was doing 315 for reps, and it just snapped doing a warm up, man. And it was kind of a freak issue. It sucks, man. It's really more of like the mental recovery more than the physical part of it.
Hey, Dan, did you have any did you tear a tricep, Dan, or something?
Oh, terrible.
I've never torn anything.
Oh, good.
Knock on wood.
Knock on wood. The only thing I've ever torn was my left hamstring, and it just took a little chunk out of like my outside tendon up about like 2 inches, but it actually gives me more of a hamstring drop from the side poses, because it just like it kind of just drops down from where it was torn. Dustin knows what I'm talking about, but that's the only. It was from college football, but that was the only torn muscle I've ever had. But you know, speaking of bench press, I do like to bench press in the off season. You know, when I get really strong, but I try to like really build up strength and not push it. But every time I do it, man, it's like you get past 3 plates and you're like, you just get that little nervous bug in your stomach. You're like, should I really be doing this? You're like, fuck it, it's so fun, you know. But after hearing Anthony's story, I might have to drop it out. But so I got a good topic, and I want everyone's opinion. Okay, so as you guys seen, I was put together a little list, and a debate has risen up lately between StU and Justin Shier. So let's say StU, and right now, where they are right now, if they both competed at 100%, who would win? Go ahead, Dustin.
Oh, so I have to be first on this one. That's a good question. It's hard because they both have areas that the other doesn't. So if they both come in 100%.
Yeah.
Are we talking about personal preference or the judging? Because it really all depends on who's up there.
Let's go both. Like, what would you call it, and what do you think the judge would call it? Let's do that.
I think I would have StU by just a hair. Mainly because he is so thick. So he is thick as hell from like every single pose. Every pose, he's so thick. And Justin's a bit taller, I believe. But he's got that pretty shape. So again, it's about what the judges want. But if it was my call, I would probably pick StU by probably 1 point or two, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But
good call.
I mean, it's hard to tell.
Yeah, go ahead, Dan.
I agree with Dustin. I think StU's got it. I mean, I follow him pretty close, and he was just down in Texas, I think, with a bunch of the gas guys. He's making everybody look small. He's just so freaking enormous. It's insane. And I mean, he's starting to get kind of freaky too. Like, he's still in his off season. I think he's just started prep, but I mean, he's got a ton of freaky muscle on him, and so I think that the freak factor puts him over the top. Yeah, but
slight edge for StU.
Yeah, Justin's got some insane arms, man.
Like, I know
him leading up to the Olympia this last year, like his gym double biceps. I've never seen anything like that, man. His forearms are huge. Oh, it's crazy.
And what's cool
his
about
waist
Justin,
is so tiny.
I know.
Yeah. And his arms are big, like all the way down to his wrist too. He's got those thick forearms. So it's just and his calves are huge too, really. Like he's got those good extremities.
Yeah.
But go ahead, Anthony. Who you got if they competed 100%?
I just have to agree with the other guys. It's just that StU, I don't know. It seems like Justin's taller, but StU's just got that like shorter, like bulbous looking muscle bellies and just like full everywhere. It's just, you know what I mean? It's like, it's cool to look at, you know, but the same thing with Justin, he's just got that really pretty shape, tiny waist, and just his lats just like pop when he's doing that front double. Yeah, and calves, man, you can't, you know, if you got calves, that's always a good sign. But I would definitely have to go with StU, probably just by a hair too.
Yeah, it's funny because I made that list and I'm like, hey, telling everybody, hey, give me feedback. And some people gave me some feedback because I had StU up in first, and some feedback came out and it was like, hey, you know, technically Justin should be first because he got a pro win and an Olympia appearance. You know, StU, I think, has a 7th place Tampa, 2nd place New York, 3rd place Cali, I want to say.
Yeah, I think that's right.
So I end up putting Justin in first just based on last year's, record. But yeah, I think right now I'm friends with them both. They're both super cool. Man, it's so close. If they were 100%, the thing about StU is he's freaky, but also like when he pulls his ab and thigh, it's like his fucking obliques like disappear, and his waist gets so small. StU, for being such a mass monster, he's got crazy shape too.
Yeah.
And what's great about both guys, excuse me, I'm sitting here eating steak and rice and Diet Dr. Pepper, but what's cool about both of them is like they're the coolest guys literally in bodybuilding on podcasts, I feel like, because I listen to a lot of podcasts. And those two dudes, a lot of people are just so reserved. They just don't want to say much. Those dudes say what's on their mind. They'll say if a dude looks like shit. Like, they're so entertaining, especially StU. StU's always saying some shit, and they're like, StU, you should probably like be quiet. It might hurt your judging. He's like, fuck it, you know.
Well, look at his coach.
Oh, it's funny.
They're both super entertaining dudes. So it's great that we have those two leading the charge here in the Northwest, and we're all kind of chasing behind, you know what I mean? But
he was at the Emerald Cup, this year, and he was guest posing with Hunter. But he was backstage, kind of hanging out, and I actually talked to him for a little bit. That's the first time I talked to him, but he was really cool. He's super down to earth. He's not he's not prideful. He's super humble with himself. I think even on his Instagram page, it's like mediocre IFBB Pro or something like that.
Yeah.
He's a funny guy. He's cool.
Stu's, yeah, Dustin knows him too. Stu's really funny, man. He's got a really dry sense of humor, and yeah,
Oh yeah.
he fucking literally like he's a hyper responder. I think I don't want to take anything away from him as far as his work ethic because it's second to none. But he's obviously a hyper responder. He actually did the Emerald when Dustin coached me in 17 and I won the heavies at Emerald. He did he did that show that year and he was just like nothing. But it was like his first show. And then, I mean, from 17 to like 19 or 20, he just blew up. And
I think he did the 2020 Emerald Cup because that was right after I retired and I saw him backstage. And I'm like, so you had a couple good years, huh? And he's like, I guess so.
Yeah, dude, no shit. I think he had one of the best years ever when he won the E Cup. He was a heavyweight. I think he was 224. And then 14 months later, when he won USA's, Mr. USA, he was like 249. So like within a year, this fucking dude put on literally 25 pounds of tissue. Incredible.
That's crazy.
He's got a bright future because he's like 27 too. It's wild. That's the thing about Justin Shier, too. He's like my age. He's like 36, 37. So his ceiling's a little bit quicker, But they're both incredible, man. They're both great bodybuilders. So the next question was sent in by somebody here. And there is the Arnold this year. Who do you think is going to win, Hadi or Samson? Let's just say Hadi's going to be there. Hopefully he is. Go ahead, Anthony. You start out.
Oh, man. I like Samson. I just like his shape. I just like everything about him. I mean, he's just a beast to me, honestly. And I mean, hands down. I mean, I like Hadi too, but I'm a big Samson fan, so I'll go with Samson.
All right, that surprises me because you got more of a Hadi type physique. But hey, Sam, I get it. Hey, let's go with Dan. Go ahead.
I'm actually going to agree with Anthony. I've been, on Instagram and whatnot. Samson is looking insane, like crazy insane. He only shows himself from the front, and the latest update I saw from Hadi was from the back. And I don't know, he's not there, but Samson from the front's definitely there. So I don't know if they're hiding their best or we, because Samson, is he better from the front? Is he better from the back? Hadi, I think, is better from the front. How old's Hadi?
I think he's like my age, like 37, 38, I think. Yeah, he is. He's my age, yeah.
This is just my opinion, but it seems to me in his latest updates, he's perhaps regressed slightly in his lower body.
Really?
Yeah, from the back. So I think he'll probably win, but I would like to see Samson win, honestly.
Yeah. What about you, Dustin?
All right, so this is probably gonna be my last one, but
yeah.
The amount that Samson has actually done in the last 2 years is insane.
I know.
And I think it's going to be hard to beat Samson because he has everything. But again, that's just me, and I could be off on this, but personally, I think Hadi's kind of took the back step over the last maybe year or so.
Mm-hmm.
Again, that's just my opinion on it. I think Samson's only going to go up. So.
Yeah. Well, bro, thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate it. I know you got to go get some food. You just got done training. Yeah. Look out for the weekend. Everyone, Dustin Bies is coming back. One of the best physiques in the Northwest. Thanks, brother. Thanks for coming on, man. Appreciate it, brother.
See you, Dustin.
Later, man.
So I'm going to go with Hadi. I'm a huge Hadi fan. I'm sure you guys know who Abdullah is. He's from he's from Qatar, but he had a visa. He went to college over here and stuff. I had him on the second episode, and we talked a lot about Hadi, and he told me like Hadi used to get beat a lot over there. Like Hadi is kind of a success story. He used to get beat a lot over there by a lot of guys. Like even Ahmad Ashkenani, the 212 guy, used to like smoke him all the time. And his work ethic is second to none, man. I don't know if his physique's regressing. It might be. I know they pointed out one of his like left quad was down or something at the Olympia. It might have been the way he was posing it, or it might be coming down. I don't know. I just think it's going to take an incredible amount of conditioning from Samson from the back to beat Hadi, because Hadi's going to come in peeled because people kind of gave him shit at the Olympia for being slightly off from the back condition wise. So I think he's going to come in super peeled, and Hadi's the most complete bodybuilder on the planet. It's just structurally, when you go up against a Samson who's 6 foot, it's tough, so it's going to be close. I do agree, man. That recent photo of Samson, man, it was like he looked so crisp. Like it looked like better conditioning than he's ever had. Because I know what photo you're talking about, Dan. He just released it, and I thought, holy fuck, when I saw that.
Yeah, I think that was today or something. Yeah.
At the end of the day, I think Hadi's more complete, and I don't know if Samson will suffer enough. It's funny too, because talking with like Justin Shier and stuff, we were bullshitting about Samson, and we were just laughing because like you watch his videos leading into like the Olympia, and he's taking his carb powder and his protein powder, and he's like not measuring it at all. And he's like, yeah, coach has me take like 2 scoops of this carb powder. And he's like, I don't know, whatever, 4 or 5 weeks out. And he slops in these 2 scoops that are like, it's like 4 scoops. And same thing with his protein and like little shit like that. And he doesn't weigh himself. And I don't know, it's just like, I think he might not just suffer quite enough because he's so genetically gifted. But we'll see. I don't know. But it was funny how me and Justin were just like, it's so funny because, and another thing was he told Milos he will not eat fish. He's like, I won't eat fish. So fish is out of the question, and he kind of freestyles his supplements. He doesn't weigh them. And you could tell he fucking, and there was something else that he wasn't weighing too. I can't remember, but hopefully I think sometimes when someone's so gifted like that, they get away with shit that we, have been doing for 10 years, you know what I mean? Like eating fish, like our first show, we're like, oh yeah, eat fish. Okay, fuck, sure. This dude's getting ready for the Olympia, and he's like, nope, not eating fish. Me and Justin were just kind of having a laugh about that.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah.
How genetically gifted people can kind of be a little bit less tough when it comes to like the suffer part about it.
Yeah,
but we'll see. We'll see if he gets in shape. There's no doubt he's going to beat Hadi. Once he just gets that glute hamstring area just a little tighter, it's pretty much game over for everybody. I think just the amount of size he has.
Yeah, so, he's got that super black. I don't know, Nigerian or whatever. That super black skin, and I think that sort of hides the conditioning a little bit, so I think it works against those guys that are super dark.
Yeah,
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, it should be exciting.
Yeah.
So I got a question for you guys. We'll do a couple more here. Have you guys ever dealt with like muscle atrophy or nerve damage? So recently, in the last like 6 months, on my right lower quad, my right vastus medialis, the lower part is like atrophied a little bit. I think it's nerves or something. But anyways, I've been trying to do stuff to like bring it back. I've been really doing like a lot of like leg extensions with the toes pointed out and kind of holding the squeeze at the top. You guys ever dealt with anything like that before? Anthony, go ahead.
Well, like the nerve, like, did you have like an injury or something, or just something, I guess.
No, man, I didn't have an injury at all. I mean, I off and on, like, I tweaked my back, because I know all your nerves run into your spine.
Right.
And I tweaked my back, a couple, you tweak it a couple times throughout the year, but nothing crazy.
Right. Yeah.
Like squatting or something. But, and then Tim O'Malley was saying, well, maybe it's because, you wrap your legs too tight. And I'm like, no, I literally rarely ever wrap my legs.
Yeah.
So it couldn't be that. So I don't know. I think it's coming back, but I'm just curious if you guys ever dealt with atrophy in a weird way like that.
I've always had like an injury, and I've always like kind of like overcompensated for like, like for example, like I had a lat injury where I felt like something was torn and like, so I will overcompensate when I'm pulling with my right. And so it's atrophied in that way because I'm just trying to nurse it, I guess, to some extent. But I couldn't really say that I've ever had just like any like nerve damage in a specific area that caused any atrophy. It was more so just like I was injured in that area.
Yeah. So, what about you, Dan?
I have not had to deal with anything like that, thankfully. I'm kind of at the age where your legs start to disappear, almost mid 40s. Jay Cutler, he retired at 40. And I think, Dexter Jackson is one of the few that was able to maintain some leg size, through his 40s.
Yeah.
And so, it's something that's kind of interesting to me, like, what is the reason why? And the best explanation that I've heard yet was from Dave Palumbo, and he says that he thinks that leg atrophy that occurs to guys in their 40s is just due to nerve damage that's happened throughout the years, because just like you were saying, all your nerve stuff runs through your spine. So, you tweak your spine, like you say, I tweak mine, a time or two a year. And that kind of builds up over time. And then it's just nerve damage. That happened to Ronnie, right? Ronnie Coleman. And many others. But so far, my legs seem to be holding up okay. I don't train them the way I used to, but just, change to kind of a higher volume approach and less weight where I'm just pounding the snot out of them and just trying to pump blood in more so, and then do it more often. So 2, even 3 times a week rather than just once a week.
Nice.
But yeah, I guess getting back to your original question, it's not something that I've had to deal with, thankfully.
Yeah, it's not terrible. I could probably bring up a picture and show you guys here in a second, but it's something that I want to try to fix, but it's not too bad. It's like that 2 inches that goes down into your knee, that pops out when your knee's bent. It looks cool when your knee's bent when you got a big teardrop popping out.
Yeah.
But that's a good topic that you were bringing up there, Dan, as far as leg size into your 40s and why people lose it. And I think yes, what you said that Dave said is definitely true. It's probably the number one thing is the nerves. And speaking of nerves, I heard your coach Justin Harris talking last night on a podcast I was listening to, and he said what's kind of scary about nerve damage is once that nerve gets kind of blocked and shut off, after a couple months, your body will literally consume the nerve, which is kind of weird, right? Like, it's trippy, but it makes sense. Like, if it's not being used, it kind of just, turns it into tissue or whatever. It kind of just disintegrates it and uses it within your body. So when you do have nerve damage, it's one of those things that you really want to catch right away. And I've heard of those guys getting that really expensive treatment. I can't remember what it's called, but the treatment the guys are getting, they're going down to Colombia and Mexico and stuff. What's it? Oh, stem cells. Yeah.
Stem cells. Yeah.
Yeah. I've heard stem cells have some positive benefits on re-getting nerves to fire again. But like your coach said, if the nerves shut off long enough, I think he said maybe 6 months or something to a year, that your body will just kind of consume the nerve, which is kind of wild to think about. Yeah. But on the topic, I think yes, nerves. And also I think one of the reasons guys lose their leg as they get in their 40s is they're just not able to, do what they used to do as far as like squatting and stuff. Like most guys, as they get older, they're dropping back squats out. They're eventually dropping hack squats, and now they're only leg pressing and leg extension. I think if you continue to train your legs deep into squat, you have good range of motion, flexibility, you can continue to have big legs into your 50s, because Tim O'Malley's 48 years old now, and his legs are phenomenal. I mean, they're round, full, and he trains like an animal. He jumps in there with us and squats and hacks, and I mean, he's just a beast, So I think the number one reason guys lose their legs is just they don't stimulate the way they used to. And like Dan's doing it smartly too. You got to find a different way to do it. You can't pound 6 to 8 reps anymore. You got to hit 15s and 20s and figure out a way to keep pumping up the leg. And yeah, like, dude, your legs, I was grabbing some pictures to get the post on Instagram for the show tonight, and I was fucking seeing your legs at that last show. I was like, geez, dude, they're phenomenal. Like, they're deeply separated, and they're full and round, and the adductors are touching pretty low, which is something that a lot of people forget about with legs, is the adductors. I know I did early in my career. I was just all about quad sweep, and then I realized the last 4 or 5 years, like, holy shit, a lot of your leg size comes from your adductors.
Yeah, totally.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Do you guys agree with that, though? Those two reasons, like, why guys lose their leg? Yeah.
Well, I mean, just thinking about myself, if I back squat, I have to set myself up for being like really, really sore. And I'm not talking like my leg muscles. I'm talking my low back, my spine, my knees for days afterwards. So yeah, there's a certain kind of stimulus that a heavy squat session gives the muscles. But at the same time, if I do one of those sessions, then my other 1 or 2 leg workouts that normally I would have scheduled in that week are shot. So there's give and take. 10 years ago, I could do a squat session on a Monday, and then on a Thursday, I could do another leg day, but I can't do that anymore. So if I'm going to do a squat session, I basically have to kiss the rest of my leg training goodbye for the rest of the week. So yeah, it's a tough one.
Yeah, I don't think you necessarily have the back squat at all. It is, hey, if you can, that's awesome. But I think as long as you're doing hacks or some type of squatting movement that's heavy enough, and you have great range of motion, I think you can maintain your legs. Just like you've done a great job of maintaining your legs all the way through. Definitely.
Yeah. Well, this off season, my jeans are tighter around my quads than ever, so something's going okay.
Good sign.
Yeah, it's a good sign.
How much do you weigh right now, Dan?
About 274 on the scale last night, and then I think I was like 269 when I woke up.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
What about you, Anthony?
What's that?
How much do you weigh right now?
About 232.
Nice.
Yeah, it's like 2 years ago in my off season, I was 224.5, and I've taken about 2 years off. And so I've only gained about 7 pounds, obviously, in those 2 years, but it's been tough.
Yeah.
But I'm leaner now, you know what I mean? So it's quality weight. I feel like I might have only put on 7 pounds, but it was really like maybe 10 to 12 because I got leaner in the process.
Yeah. Right on. I'm trying to bring up Instagram, but my phone's being super slow. Maybe we'll just forget about that. 1 second here. There we go. Can you guys see that?
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. It's pretty cool.
Awesome.
You can do that.
Yeah. So if my phone doesn't take forever to load, I don't know why it's been doing this. When I run Zoom, it slows my shit down like crazy. But anyways, I got a couple more questions here, and we'll end it after that. But who is your favorite? If you had to pick, let's say, 2 pro physiques that are modern competitors, who is your 2 favorite? Go ahead, Anthony, you go first.
2 favorite? Oh man, right on the spot like that. God, just thinking about, dude, I love Derek Lunsford's physique. Like, to me, like it was years ago. I said, you're going to eventually, I just shot him a DM, obviously didn't see it or anything, but he got second at 212. And I was like, one of these days it's going to be yours. And just because I just always admired just the look, man, his back, his quads, peeled glutes, like everything. And I know there's another one off the top of my head, just can't think about it. But honestly, I like Hunter Labrada. Like, for some reason, like his look to me, I don't know if it just kind of reminds me of my physique with like 40, 50 extra pounds. But I like the way, Hunter Labrada looks, honestly, man. I think that'll look for sure too.
Is this your girlfriend or wife or?
Girlfriend, yeah.
And she's a pro too?
She is. Yep. She got her pro card at the amateur Olympia 2021.
And she does what? Bikini or figure?
Bikini, yeah. Bikini.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. There we go.
Quite the relationship.
Wow. She got lean, man. Wow. Good condition.
Yeah. Man, those bikini girls, man, I got a lot of respect. I didn't really take that division very seriously at first until I met her. I'm not gonna lie, but just the amount of cardio that she has to do, because those girls have to get so many more steps than we do, and cardio to get that level of lean and just eating like a bird. It's that her level of discipline is right up there with the best of them. So yeah, she's set the bar high.
Yeah, I totally know what you mean, man. My girl actually competes too, cool. I'm actually coaching her right now, and it's crazy, man. Like, dude, she's on like 1,100 calories right now, and she's like 9 weeks out, and she's doing 45 minutes cardio twice a day, and she's just barely losing like a pound or two a week. Like, Jesus, dude.
Yep. So she got like a love-hate relationship with you? Because
she's handling it pretty well. And she's gonna fucking hate me for showing her profile.
Oh wow.
But yeah, she's getting ready for Vancouver and E Cup. I'm gonna hopefully get her to do E Cup.
Wow.
So,
were you coaching her for that shot? Like when during that?
No, this was she was working with his name's James. You ever heard of Team Atlas? Yeah. He's honestly, he seemed like a douche to me, but like I never met the dude or talked to the dude personally, but just seeing kind of how he coached, I was like, I don't know, it wasn't great.
Yeah.
He's pushing like SARMs and stuff on these girls, and like trying to get them to take 2 or 3 different SARMs at once, and I'm like,
yeah, that's kind of what I heard too.
I'm like, well, why? Like, fuck. Like, my girl Janice is Asian, so she's pretty thick and dense muscled, especially in the off season. So it's like she didn't need any more muscle. She was just trying to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, makes sense.
Anyways, yeah, it's going good so far. She's averaging like 1 to 3 pounds a week right now, so she's cruising along. But yeah, it's like when you said that about your girlfriend, man, it's like, dude, it's a different level. They have to suffer. I mean, we suffer, we do, but like our metabolisms are so much higher that.
Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with that.
More.
Yep.
Yeah. So we're taking a look at Big Dan's. Dude, I know you think you got to improve your back, and listen, we could all improve our backs. Like, you never could have a good enough back, but your back's fucking. I think it's a strong body part for you, Dan.
Thanks, appreciate that.
Yeah. Those legs
could always be better though.
What?
Could always be better.
Yeah.
I have to say that at the Hurricane Pro, when I look at this picture, it looks pretty good, but I was pretty unhappy. This is the first show where I felt that my quads actually got flat a little bit. Usually my quads are really resilient to like getting flat and whatnot, but
yeah,
I felt like they were on this show, but they look pretty good in the photos. So
when I saw this
great looking back, man.
That's what I'm saying, dude. When I saw this shot, when I was trying to find photos for the thing earlier, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, has lean.
I mean, like the hammies are just bubbling out, and glutes are in. And you know what? You know, I know your glutes would be in way more, but you're popping those adductors out, so
Yeah.
it probably looks better. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've played around with that, but you know, if you tuck your glutes in and really squeeze them, what happens is you lose that width on your hamstring. At least I
know.
do. So
Yep.
yeah.
I was toying with that last year. I'll show you guys a photo of on mine too, where Tim was toying with that with me. And I had it down for a little bit, but then I just got busy and didn't end up using it this year. But yeah, man, this was a great package. So you got second and the Masters at this one, right?
Yeah, second in the Masters. It's just a one point decision, so it's pretty close.
Do you own part of that gym that you train at? And what part of Montana are you at?
Yeah, Northwest Montana. We're up in Kalispell, but yeah, I own this gym. Yeah, Access Fitness.
Is that what you do for work full time? Just own the gym?
I'm a structural engineer, actually, full time.
Oh, nice. And that's just a side hustle. Awesome, dude. Hell yeah.
That's my side hustle. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, your legs are a little fuller here, but like they weren't as cut, you know, but like
yeah,
they're still shredded here, but I know what you mean. That happened to me this year. As I dieted way too long was I lost some of the thickness. So this so Anthony, check this out, right? Okay. So Anthony, this guy to the right beat him here, which I thought was
imagine.
Yeah, man. This guy actually he got fifth at the USA's this year. He got lucky. You know how every once in a while there's a weak super heavy class? I don't want to take anything away from him, but there was like 8 dudes at USA's this year, and like maybe 4 or 5 of them were good. So he slipped in there and got a 5th place. So you know what? He's placed higher than me, man. So kudos to him. He's a hard fucking worker, and he's got a really hard, dense physique. It's just aesthetically not the greatest.
Yeah, I was like, he looks conditioned as hell.
Yeah, and like his side test is pretty nasty, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And Dan's doing, the dude. Remember,
is that Dan right next to him?
That's Dan, the tall guy, and the guy next to him is Monty Rogers.
He kind of looked like a Bumstead right there, man. That was a nice, that's a nice side chest, man.
That's what I know, man. Seriously, he's got that look, dude, and that is really Bumstead.
Yeah, that's great. That's yep, nice full chest and separation.
So this guy to the right of Dan, Monty Rogers, has like the most shredded glutes ever.
Remember that? He does.
Yeah. Him and Abdullah.
Yeah, no kidding. The 2 most shredded glutes in history, man.
Yeah, him and Abdullah, man. Abdullah's glutes are nuts. Have you seen him, Anthony?
I haven't. I mean, he didn't he get his pro card at the Arnold Olympia?
Yeah,
not Arnold Olympia, the Amateur Olympia a couple years ago.
Yes.
I think it's kind of a funny thing to remember, dude, but I think I do kind of remember this dude having some peeled glutes for sure. The kind of shit that bodybuilders remember. It's kind of funny.
Right. The guy's glutes are so great. He's a buddy of mine. And he came about a year or 2 ago, he came by and we trained legs. And he was in his full off season. And we went to do the I think it's reverse hyper machine. And his glutes were popping through his tights. Like he's strided year round. He's just one of those guys like Derek Lunsford who just has amazing glutes that are strided year round, you know?
Yeah.
So here's a really good shot right here. They're dry too. Like, look at that.
Oh yeah. That's crazy, dude. Especially his lower back.
I know.
That's wild looking.
I mean, that's like
calves too.
Yeah, his back of his legs are some of the best, I think, in the IFBB, just with a little more size, you know.
You know, I'm not gonna lie. When I was at North Americans, honestly, like I was looking around, I saw the guys in my class. Like, mad respect for all of them for being there, but like if they had soggy looking glutes, like even if they were bigger than me or maybe even more conditioned, like I kind of just felt like I had it. Like I
Yeah.
think glutes like really, really can make or break you, dude.
Oh, they can for sure, dude. For sure.
Yeah, he looks insane, man.
So here's Dustin. Look how good Dustin's quads are, all the way to the left. The guy that just left our Zoom a little bit ago. I'll have to bring
Yeah.
Dustin up. He's got wild genetics. So yeah, Abdul. Then there's Jerry. He's another pro. He owns Kamikaze Gym down in Salem. Yeah, these guys are good dudes.
Wow.
But yeah, Abdul's got some wild conditioning, man. This is actually the amateur Olympia right here. Okay, yeah, there we go. So he said he wasn't that the first pictures. He said he didn't even play, and then he said he came in a little bit fuller. You see, he's still super peeled here, but he's just a little bit fuller, and that's when he actually won. So
that's crazy. Who's his coach?
He works with Jerry, the guy that was in the middle, the guy with the long beard.
Oh wow.
He's just got to bring up that upper body, man. Once he brings up that upper body, it's pretty great. Good, good pro. Definitely.
Good luck, man.
Everything's there. So yeah, let's give Dustin some love here real quick. Now that we're on the topic. Yeah, man, I honestly think I've known Dustin for a long time. He's a good coach. And if Dustin commits 3 to 4 years, just 100%, he's on that 212 stage, man. Like he has wild muscle bellies. They're just like super round, bubbly. And I think he just needs to put on more size, and he's there. So, and he's motivated now, which is great. He's coming back once my shit loads here. But so where are you at in Montana again, Dan? What city?
It's called Kalispell. We're up by Glacier National Park. It's the northwest corner of the state.
Nice.
Yeah, near Whitefish.
Okay. What's the population there?
This town's about 20,000.
Okay.
And then the Greater Valley, the Flathead Valley, there's about, I think, like 90 or 100,000 in the valley.
Okay, so it's a decently populated.
It's decently populated, yeah.
Yeah. Cool. And then you're in Boise, right, Anthony?
Yep.
Nice.
I know. When you were doing this poll, like the top in the Northwest, I'm like, I was like, man, it's like Idaho considered Northwest. I had to look it up. But it is.
Yeah. No, you definitely dude, you're up there. You hadn't competed in the last 2 years, right?
Yeah, no, I've taken a little hiatus. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt, dude. I would have had you right up in that top 4, top 5. I had to.
No, you're good about that. I was just like, I didn't know if I was just I didn't know if like the Northwest is just considered like.
Oh right.
Forgive my ignorance, but just Washington and Oregon. But
hey, we're even showing Montana some love over there with Big Dan.
Yeah, I noticed. Yeah.
So I might take a second here because Dustin hasn't competed for a while, and for some reason videos won't work, but pictures will.
Yeah, I tried pulling up that reel, man, that he had up at the top. His video looks pretty insane. He's definitely got a great physique.
Yeah, man, he's just very bubbly, and he's got great genetics. If he just takes the time to put the time in, then he's going to get there. You can kind of see, in his profile picture, he's got that round muscle belly.
Oh yeah.
But I'll show you guys what I'm talking about with my atrophy, and you can clearly see it, but only if you point it out. So it's not terrible yet, but it's getting there. I'm just a little worried about it. But yeah. So what do you guys, as far as if the topic of growth hormone, that's the last question I have here, and we'll kind of end it here in a few minutes. But what is your experience with growth hormone, and do you like pharmaceutical grade or the good old Chinese generic? Go ahead, Dan, you can go first.
Yeah, I like growth hormone. I've been taking it for probably, I don't know, 10 years now. But I've never had the finances to purchase the pharmaceutical quality, so it's just been generics for me straight through.
Yeah. And what kind of dose what's your sweet spot for like a good dose?
So right now I've got 10 IU vials, and I split it into thirds, and I do 3.3 in the morning, 3.3 at night. So a vial lasts me a day and a half. And that seems to be pretty good. I've been prior to that, usually I go 2 days per vial, so 5 IUs a day, and we'll just take it once a day in the morning.
Okay. Yeah, so 5 or 6 IUs a day. Do you run any insulin to counteract the effects of it?
You know, I remember I was talking about having, I don't know if you remember, but I was having trouble getting full at the Hurricane Pro.
Yeah.
So I checked my blood sugars, and lo and behold, I'm running high blood sugars, like pre-diabetic.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like over 100 in the morning when I wake up. So I think that was contributing partly to the reason I couldn't get full. But so I've been doing Lantus in the morning. I've been doing 20 IUs, or if it's a high carb day, I've been doing 30 IUs every morning. So yeah, I have been.
And that seems to help, yeah?
It does, yeah.
You don't run any Humalog or Pedra or anything?
I do some Novolog, like the meal before I'm going to the gym, about 10 IUs, and if it's a high carb, about 20 IUs.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice. Good. What about you, Anthony?
You know, I've always just taken the generic stuff. I mean, if I could, pharmaceutical grades just seems to be pretty expensive. I mean, if I could technically afford it, I probably would. But
yeah.
I mean, it's just so expensive, just even generic. It's just like, I don't know, man. I just take what I can get at this point, you know, and what I can afford. But I like run between 4 to 5 IUs a couple times a day. And then my blood sugar typically does get quite a bit higher.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's, I guess that's a good thing, you know, if you're taking like bunk stuff, you know, your blood sugar will be nice and low.
Yeah.
But if it's higher, you know, that's always a good sign. So I always offset that with some Lantus as well. And just usually take about 20 IUs of that a day, just in the morning.
Nice. Yeah. So so you can actually see it pretty. So if you look at my lower right teardrop, you see how it's kind of just fading away a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see it now.
Yeah. And I mean, it's not like you're not probably notice. It's not as you guys don't notice that unless I point it out, right?
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's just a little bit. You know, so I'm trying right now to bring it back. Hopefully, my body didn't consume my own nerve already.
Hey, Rob, you ever try that BCP 157?
Very briefly back in the day, I didn't run it long enough to get the benefits of it, but you think that would help? Maybe actually, that probably would.
Dude, if it were me, I'd be injecting that straight into that tissue right there.
Okay, I will. I'm gonna get some. So yeah, right here, Tim was showing me how to do that. See how like, oh, so this one, my adductor is out.
Yeah.
And then this one, it's gone. So
there you go. Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, I would just like to bring up my lower lats. I think they kind of just don't have a lot of meat on them. So that's kind of that's the focus this off season is. You know, like the feedback I got from the judges was, hey, you're pretty awesome from the front, but you got to really improve your back, especially in the lower back area, especially. So that's what I'm working on. I still think my best look was the Emerald Cup, just because I was a little bit fuller and we peaked a little bit, but I was only 233 here compared to 237, but I think we just peaked a little better. We're a little fuller. So that was my favorite.
This last year, wasn't it?
2 years
Did you
ago.
win that?
Yeah.
Oh, 2
Yeah.
years ago? Okay.
Yeah, I won that. Yeah. Yeah, that was my best year.
Have you ever tried the newbie?
No,
Like,
man. I've heard a lot of good stuff about it though.
Yeah, I just have to say that just seems like something with your leg. That seems like something that would probably benefit. I think anybody that does the newbie treatment could probably explain that to you in better detail. It really worked for me, just as far as feeling like I get like more muscle fiber recruitment and kind of like waking up some of those fibers and maybe some of those nerve endings. I might be overreaching here with what I'm talking about, but I definitely think it's something that you might want to look into personally.
Yeah, that's another good idea. The newbie for sure. Yeah, because everyone that's used that has said good things about it for sure.
Oh, yeah, dude, you'll love it, man. It's something else. You can like literally just do like 6 total sets. Maybe 1 to 2 exercises, and you'll be sore for like a couple days, and it feels like a good sore. You know what I mean? It's wild, man. I highly recommend it.
So on the growth hormone topic, I've run it off and on throughout my career. Like I said, I started bodybuilding when I was about 24, 25, so I'm about 12 years in right now. And I would say probably 3 or 4 of those years I ran growth hormone consistently. Really just the last 2 years, pretty consistently. Up until about 6 months ago, I dropped it, just was trying to save a little bit of money. So kind of dropped it the last 6 months. But before that, I was actually running 10 IUs for a while, just to kind of test it out. Because, I know Stu, they call him 10 IU Stu. So, of course, all of us down here were like, well, Stu's taking 10 IUs. That means we got to take 10 IUs. So
yeah.
me and Tim and Ryan were on 10 IUs. And then Tim only lasted a little bit. He was like, dude, my wrists are hurt. They're too swollen or some shit like that. And then me and Ryan, of course, did it for a while. Ryan's another beast, but here's Tim right here. I wanted to show him a little bit of love because he's an absolute beast. He's my coach. I've worked with him. Look at that leg, dude. 40. He's 48 now.
Yeah,
that's good.
I'd be happy with legs like that at 48.
I know, dude. I mean, and look at his teardrop is like striated. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's wild.
So just like Dan said, what's that?
Does he coach himself or does he have a coach?
Yeah, he kind of coaches himself, but Blue Taylor kind of helps him a little bit.
Yeah. But
I would say he's self-coached. Yeah. Gotcha. So anyways, this is another guy I'll show real quick. This is an up-and-coming guy from O'Malley's. He's got a pretty bright future. He's like pretty tall. He's about 6'1". He's an up-and-comer. So he's going to jump into some shows this year. He's going to turn some heads. Not quite sure if he's going to do classic or open, but that's another O'Malley's freak. And then this dude, this is besides Ryan, obviously Ryan Foster, this dude, Dylan, is like the next up-and-comer. He's very short. He's like 5'4", 5'5", but he's just a thick house, dude. He's another up-and-comer from O'Malley's.
I've seen him. Is he probably not going to make light heavies anymore? He looks monstrous.
I don't think so. Yeah, the light heavies is kind of the question by now. He's going to be a great fucking heavyweight, though.
Yeah.
And then Zach Mapes is another good bodybuilder too. He did Emerald Cup this year, and besides Dan, I actually thought Zach should have won, but Neil Austin took it instead of him. Zach, he's right in the middle. He won the heavyweights. Look at that back, light skinned black dude all the way to the left. Good back. That's Jamie in the middle. He's a stud. So just showing some love to a couple of the up and comers. That was good top 3. That was a good top 3.
Yeah.
Anyways, so let's see. Yeah, so just like you were saying, man, like there's no excuse. I mean, there is excuses always, but to lose your legs, I mean, look at Tim right here, like still rocking huge legs, man. Tim's a beast too. Like he'll get up there and mix it up with us and like crazy workouts, deadlifts, all kinds of shit.
Wasn't he like
That's
a
awesome.
Mr. Oregon recently, like the last, or like a couple of years ago or something? Or when was?
Yeah, he was. Last year, yeah, last summer he won the Mr. Oregon, and then he went. I think he did Masters Nationals or something, and then almost got his pro card. He was really close.
It's right there, man.
Right there. Yeah. Oh yeah, check out. Let's see this wild ass front lat spread. That's crazy ass front lat spread. He's way bigger now too. Yeah, so I think he's going to jump into like nationals this year. But let me. And then Monty's another stud. He did Northwest this year, and he lost to Justin Pence. That was a little controversial, but he's another good up and comer. Anyways, let me go to stop share. Anyways, guys, I really appreciate you guys coming on, man. I think it was a great show.
Yeah, it's fun.
For real.
Yeah.
You
guys are representing, man. We got you guys' next shows. What was it again, Anthony?
South Florida Pro.
South Florida Pro, and that's this summer?
Yeah, yep, June 22nd.
All right, look out for Anthony doing the South Florida Pro, IFBB Pro, and then Dan, you said what again? What's the plan?
Yeah, San Antonio, September 14th, and then Legions, September 28th.
Nice. All right. Look out for let's see, what do we call them? Bumstead Time Machine. Bumstead 20 years in the future.
I'll have to grow this mustache back out.
Do it, dude. So yeah. Anyways, guys, thanks for coming on. All right.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Thanks for having us, man.